Welcome back everyone, and today we're diving deep into everything we expect to happen in F.R.O.M season for episode 8. An episode that could completely change the future of the town, and finally bring us closer to answers that fans have been waiting years to uncover. Because after the shocking events of the previous episode, the residents are more divided, frightened, and desperate than ever, while Boyd stands on the edge of a decision that may either save everyone, or doom them all forever. As episode 8 begins, the atmosphere in the town is darker than it has ever been before, with fear spreading through every house and every conversation, because people are starting to realize that the rules they once depended on may no longer apply, and the creatures seem to be evolving in ways nobody understands, creating a growing sense of panic among the survivors who are already exhausted from years of living under constant terror. Boyd finds himself carrying the weight of the entire community on his shoulders once again. But this time the burden feels heavier than ever because every choice he makes seems to create even bigger consequences. And after everything he has witnessed, he begins to believe that the only way to defeat the town is to confront its evil directly rather than continuing to run from it. Throughout the episode, Boyd secretly develops a dangerous plan that very few people know about. And while some of his closest allies worry that he is becoming reckless, Boyd believes that taking a massive risk is the only chance they have left. Especially now that new clues suggest the town's supernatural forces may have weaknesses that have never been explored before. Meanwhile, Tabitha continues struggling with the terrifying knowledge she has gained during her journey, because every answer she discovers only seems to create even more questions, and as she tries to connect the pieces together, she becomes increasingly convinced that the town is part of something much larger and more sinister than anyone ever imagined. As Tabitha shares her theories with Jade, the two begin investigating a series of strange symbols and visions that have appeared once again, and what they uncover could point toward the true origins of the nightmare that has trapped countless people throughout the years, leading them to suspect that the town itself may actually be alive in some horrifying way. Victor plays an even bigger role in this episode as his memories become increasingly important, and although Victor has spent much of his life avoiding painful truths about the past, he finally realizes that keeping secrets may no longer be possible if everyone hopes to survive. What is coming next? In several emotional scenes, Victor reveals fragments of information that he has hidden for decades, and while some of these memories are incomplete, they provide enough detail to suggest that previous residents may have attempted the same escape plan Boyd is now preparing, only to suffer devastating consequences that were erased from the town's collective memory. At the same time, Ethan begins experiencing disturbing visions that seem more intense than anything he has encountered before, and unlike previous warnings, these visions feel immediate and urgent, causing both Tabitha and Victor to fear that a major catastrophe is rapidly approaching. Across town, Fatima faces one of the most emotional storylines of the season as she struggles with the growing darkness surrounding her life, and the psychological toll of recent events leaves her questioning everything she once believed about hope, survival, and the future. As Fatima searches for answers, she encounters a series of strange clues that may connect directly to the town's deepest mysteries. And what starts as a personal journey soon becomes something much larger, forcing her to confront possibilities that are both terrifying and impossible to ignore. Elsewhere, Donna finds herself dealing with growing unrest among the residents, because many people have begun losing faith in the leadership that has kept them alive for so long. And tensions rise as arguments break out over whether Boyd's increasingly dangerous actions are helping or hurting their chances of survival. Several emotional confrontations take place throughout the episode as long-standing friendships are tested under pressure, and the stress of constant fear finally pushes some characters to reveal feelings they have been hiding for years, creating powerful moments that remind viewers how deeply these people have been affected by their nightmare existence. As the story progresses, mysterious events begin occurring after sunset, and residents report hearing unusual sounds that don't match anything they have encountered before, suggesting that a new threat may be emerging from the darkness beyond the town. The creatures themselves appear more intelligent than ever, and there are several chilling moments that hint they may actually understand much more about the residents than anyone previously believed, raising terrifying questions about who is truly in control of the situation. One of the episode's most suspenseful sequences occurs when Boyd finally puts his risky plan into motion, and despite warnings from nearly everyone around him, he moves forward with a strategy that could potentially expose the truth behind the town's supernatural force. The operation begins smoothly, but it quickly becomes clear that something unexpected is happening, because the town seems to react to Boyd's actions in ways nobody anticipated, creating a chain reaction of events that spreads throughout the community. As panic grows, several residents find themselves trapped in dangerous situations, forcing them to rely on one another for survival, and these moments deliver some of the most intense suspense of the entire season, as characters race against time to escape seemingly impossible circumstances. Meanwhile, Jade makes a breakthrough that could change everything, discovering evidence that suggests the symbols, visions, and mysterious voices may all be connected to a single source, and if his theory is correct, the town's greatest secret may finally be within reach. However, the closer Jade gets to the truth, the more dangerous his investigation becomes, and he soon realizes that some forces do not want their secrets exposed, leading to a shocking encounter that leaves his future uncertain. Back with Boyd, the consequences of his experiment become impossible to ignore as reality itself appears to shift around him, creating surreal and terrifying scenes that blur the line between hallucination and genuine supernatural phenomena. The residents watch in horror as events unfold, and many begin to fear that Boyd's gamble may have unleashed something far worse than the creatures that roam outside at night. Victor's warnings suddenly take on new meaning, as hidden pieces of his past start aligning with the events happening in the present, and for the first time, several mysteries that have existed since the earliest episodes begin connecting in ways fans have never seen before. As the episode approaches its final act, multiple storylines collide in dramatic fashion, bringing together Boyd, Tabitha, Jade, Victor, Ethan, Donna, and Fatima in a race to understand what is happening before it is too late. The emotional stakes reach extraordinary levels as characters are forced to make heartbreaking choices, and some may discover that survival comes with a price they are not prepared to pay. Then comes the episode's biggest twist, when a shocking revelation suggests that the town may not simply be a prison, but part of a larger system designed for a purpose nobody fully understands, opening the door to countless new possibilities for the remainder of the season. This revelation sends shockwaves through the community, because if it is true, then everything the residents believed about their situation could be wrong, and escaping may require sacrifices far greater than anyone imagined. The final minutes of Episode 8 deliver edge-of-your-seat suspense as Boyd faces the direct consequences of his actions, and viewers are left wondering whether he has finally discovered a path toward freedom or accidentally triggered the beginning of an even greater nightmare. As the screen fades to black, a final shocking image leaves fans with more questions than answers, setting up what could be the most explosive stretch of episodes in the history of F.R.O.M. while proving that the mysteries of the town are far from solved. If these spoilers and predictions come close to what actually happens, Episode 8 could easily become one of the most talked about installments of the entire series, delivering major revelations, emotional character moments, terrifying horror sequences, and game-changing twists that push the story toward an unforgettable conclusion. And that's everything we know and expect from F.R.O.M. season for Episode 8. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and let us know in the comments what your biggest theory is about Boyd's plan, the man in yellow, Victor's secrets, and the true purpose of the mysterious town. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next spoiler breakdown.